Alright guys, so in the last video we created the full screen header here. Now what I want to do is, before we move on to the boxes down here, I want to implement the ScrollFire to kind of fade in this text when we enter, and also make the nav bar solid when we scroll, which we're actually not really going to be able to test yet because we have no scrolling. Well, I guess we could put a margin top or something, but let's go down to, in the HTML, we'll go down to the JavaScript area, and let's see, we'll go right here and we'll say ScrollFire. So with ScrollFire we need a variable. Let's create our options, which is going to be an array. So first we'll do the fade in of the text. Remember I gave the text the class of main text, so this is going to take a selector and it's going to be the class of main dash text, and we're going to set the offset to 0, and let's say for the callback we'll have a function, and that will take in the element like that. And then all we have to do is say materialized, and then we're going to use fade in image, and then pass in our money sign, parentheses, and then the element. Okay, now the offset just means that we don't want to scroll for it to fade in. We just want it to fade in right away. So then after the options array here, we want to say materialize dot ScrollFire, and we want to pass in those options. So let's save that, and there we go. So now when we reload, it fades in. Now for the nav bar, all we have to do is add in another object to these options, and we can actually just copy this and paste that in. So now we're going to say selector, and it's going to be the navbar fixed class. So navbar fixed, whoops, and the offset I'm going to say 1500. Okay, so when we get to that position, that's when this will run. And what we want to do is we can get rid of this. We actually don't even need to pass in this element here. We're going to take the nav using jQuery. Okay, we're going to take the nav and we're going to remove the class of transparent. Okay, not only do we want to do that, but we want to add a class. I guess we could just chain it on like this. So we'll say add class of blue, gray, and also darken -3, or whatever color you want it to be. So if we save that, we're not going to see any difference yet because it has to hit this point before this actually takes effect. So what I could do to test it out is go to the HTML and go right here, and let's just put a div, and we'll put a style, and let's say height equals, wait, I gotta do height equals, say 700. What am I saying equals? It's CSS. Okay, so I'll save that, and then 700 pixels. Okay, so now if I scroll down, that didn't work. Let's do 1600. That's not working either. So nav, remove class, add class, You know what, let's see if this is actually firing off. I'm going to say materialize dot toast. Let's try that. So reload, scroll down. Alright, so we're getting the toast. It's just this isn't working. Maybe I haven't used jQuery in quite a while, so maybe we can't do that. Let's try that. Get rid of that toast. Nope, that didn't work either. What did I do wrong? Oh, I don't have quotes in here. Should have quotes. There we go. Alright, so that's working good. So I'm going to just get rid of this div right here. That was just for testing. Alright, so we know that those two features are now working. So let's create the boxes now. We're going to go under the header and we'll say section boxes. So it's going to be a section, we'll give it a class of section dash boxes. Notice I'm not giving it a regular section class because I don't want any padding. I want it to be basically full width. I want it to take up everything. I do want to add a class of center though. Whoops. Alright, and then inside here, let's put a row. Okay, we're going to use a grid. We're going to say call, let's do call S12. And then on medium screens, it'll be 6. And on large screens, it'll be 3. And let's make this one blue with white text. And we're going to give it a class of box as well. And inside here, we're going to have an icon. So let's say material dash icons. They're going to be medium sized. And this one's going to be show underscore cart. Okay, and then H4, we're going to say grow your business. And then a paragraph, and let's do lorem 15. Actually, let's do lorem 20. Alright. So if I copy the column, this right here, let's put in 3 more. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're just going to change some stuff up. So the second one, I want to be purple. So I'm going to change the color. We're going to change the icon to people. And then we'll change the heading to professional advisors. And let's see, this one here, I'm going to change the color to teal. So we'll say teal, and we'll change the icon to verified underscore user. And then the H4 is going to say secure your company. Alright, and then finally the last one will change from blue to amber. But let's also do darken 4, or make it darker. And then the icon will be account underscore balance. And then the H4 is going to say multiply your income. So let's save that. And that's what it looks like. Let's see. Why is that icon not showing? Oh, it's show chart, not cart. Okay, so there we go. Now, what I'm going to do is go to, we're going to go to the CSS because I want to add a bunch of padding here. So in the CSS, let's add a class of box, and let's say padding, 40 pixels on the top and bottom, 10 pixels on the left and right, and I'm going to add an important flag so that we make sure that that gets overwritten. And then the H4 in the box, I just want to add padding bottom of 30 pixels. So let's save that and take a look, and that looks pretty good. And if we resize this, when we get here, we get them side by side, and then here we get them stacked. Alright, now let's work on the media query, because see how when this is very small like that, I don't want this to take up this whole area. That's just too much. So let's create a media query. Yeah, we'll say media, and then let's say max width of 600 pixels. Then we want the main header, and we want the height to only take up 50 VH. Remember, it takes up 100 by default, but now when it's less than 600, I'll save that. Now it's only 50 viewport heights, which is what I want. Alright, good. And then another thing I want to do is just make sure that there's no see how there's some margin below these boxes. We have the class of section boxes. I'm just going to grab onto that in the CSS right here. And we're going to say margin bottom 0, and we're going to say that's important. Okay, so that gets rid of that. Oh, you know what? That should work. So, oh, you know what? We didn't put row. It should be the row, because that's what the margin's actually on. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. In the next video, we're going to start to work our way down, and we're going to do the about page, the about section.